Hello, it's playtime here at Be Divine Vintage. Thank you for joining me. I'm working today on our fairy book. I said I'd bring you on the journey, and I am. If you look back at previous videos, you can see how we did the fairy, the heart, pocket there, the tag, how we grunge the pages, how we put the pages in. We've done this page. Still need to do the back. So on this page, if you remember, I put the little owl hair clip, and I've just popped some paper underneath that. So today I'm going to work on this page. So I'm going to leave the hair, this side of the hair clip, but I'm going to display some mixed media art on that page. So the hair clip will become fastened down. But first of all, I need to show you how I got to this stage and then how we're going to decorate all of this. So let me just move the book out of the way because I do not want it getting messy with the grunge. Right, so let's have a look. These are the originals that I've done. There's the next stage when I did some black stitching on it. Now you don't have to stitch on it, I just chose to. You could always do hand stitching on it. And then here is how it looks with the after the stitching. I apply the different mediums to get this look, and then finally on the little one that's going in the book, you can see I've stitched over again in white. Really like that. So let's get you to this stage. So I started off, as you can see, with quite a large piece of muslin or cheesecloth, but I'm just doing a small one today, just to show you basically the steps in how I did it. So I've got my Mod Podge and my it's just quite the water, my brush, and I literally got some, what is this, baking parchment. Right, so I literally just put some paste on there, Mod Podge, purely to fasten that down, because if you don't, this will slip and slide all over. So then I put Mod Podge on top. So like I said, this is messy. And then from my scraps jar, I got out all my natural looking scraps. So then I started to just assemble. So basically just decoupaging, collaging onto this piece of muslin. I kept using Mod Podge over the top. Now, not everything fastens down flat like it might do with a napkin, because this is how I originally started doing this with a napkin, with napkins, and progressed up to where I am now. So not everything sticks down flat, but actually it really, really doesn't matter, because that is just texture, isn't it? Things that aren't flat. That was on there. Oh, it's moved. Let's just let it move. Let's let it do what it wants. Let's put another piece on down here. So I'm literally just building up a picture with my pieces of fabric. Put that in there. It's got some fibres on, but that doesn't matter either. Let's look for something different. I've got some white cotton here that it's vintage. It was a doll sleeve, so I'll cut that off. That has actually got a bit of glue or something on it, so that'll just add to the whole texture that I want to create, because for me, I love working with different textures. That's on there. Got some pieces of satin ribbon we can put on. I should have put my Mod Podge in a little dish, but I just didn't. Everything else is in little dishes, but my Mod Podge isn't. So I just keep building a picture, and I'm mainly putting on first the flatter sort of layers. Then I'll put the lace on top of that. I love doing this. It's messy. My mum would hate this. My mum hates mess, so she would really, really, really not like this. I'm going to put that on there. So these are only your scraps, so they're just, you know, you can just use them. Oh, there's a thin one. What I did with some thin ones is I just twisted them like this. Put my Mod Podge on, and then just sort of put a twisted piece over the top. This is where it gets messy. Some people don't like messy on the hands, but I love it. Some you just have to like hold down. Don't worry, I'm not going to be doing any drying today because I've got everything prepared. So let's put that there. Right, there we go. That's all covered now. So I am now going to get my pieces of lace that are in my scrap, that were in my scrap too, and I'm going to add even more texture by placing the lace on top. I had some little like vintage appliques and things. They were just bits of applique that I've put on the other ones. This vintage lace, these bits, literally just keep putting them on. Now I left mine overnight to dry. I did put string on as well, but I haven't got any string, but I did wind string on. There's another piece of lace. Let's put this on. So there we go. That's going to be it. So that's enough with that. That's enough with the Mod Podge. I'll just move it out of the way. Move the brush. Move the bits. And there we are. So I now leave that overnight to dry. And when it's dry, it will just, you just peel it off. Peel the muslin off, and the whole image comes off. The whole creation will come off the baking paper. Right. So what did I do next? So when that has dried, it looks like this. Will look like this. This is obviously a bigger piece. This is some of the string that I put on. I like that because if you can see on this one, I've stitched over the string in a zigzag, and that was some thinner string. I've used a different stitch with that, and I think it gives a really nice result. So you'll peel off. There's your muslin at the back. It'll just peel off, and this is what you're left with, and it's actually quite pliable as well. So I then stitched over the top with black. This is what it looks like when you've done the stitching. You can choose any colour you want. You don't even have to do these neutral. You could use anything. I think it's a great way of using up your scraps. So then I got rust. Now I have a whole lot of rust and a pipette, and I just sort of dripped it on. See, I'm on baking paper again because this will go through. So I put some rust on. Now I have rust going all the time because I love making sort of rusted items. So that's rust. I got coffee. Put some coffee on. These are good pipettes I just got off Amazon. It's called a pipette, plastic pipette. So that's those. I'm just going to move the coffee and the rust before I spill them. And then I just got some ordinary black ink. This is some fountain pen ink. I've got lots of different ones of these inks just in a a set I ordered off. I just on Amazon, on eBay. It was just like random inks. I just put in stationery, job lot station, vintage stationery, and all these inks came up. So then I just dropped the inks on. Now you put on whatever bits you want. However, it will really spread. So that will really spread and become something like that. This is what it looks like dried. So you can see I just blobbed the ink on and it's really, really spread. So by tomorrow, I expect that to be virtually covered in that black ink, actually. I'm going to leave it there. How exciting is that? Let's put that in my water. Just put it in the paintbrush water and sucked up some of the water from it. Right, so that is that. Just move that in. So you're left then with something like this, which will dry to look something like this. I love doing the stitching. I just thought it was really exciting to do, to look at. I don't know, the effects upon the collage of fabric. As you can see from the side, it isn't flat. Definitely not flat. I didn't want flat. There was no flat permitted. So let's just move this out of the way. And that tomorrow will be something like that, because the black ink does change. Right, let me see what this is like. I don't want this all over my book. Fine. Let's get a... Where's my paper towel gone? Okay, paper towel. You've left me. Right. Got another one. Right, so then I want to work on this and this frame. This frame is going to look completely different when we've finished. So I'll just put the frame to one side. So here is what I'm calling the picture. So what I did with the frame that I picked, I put it on my piece of work. So here's the work. I put it on the piece of work, the frame, and picked out the bit that I wanted for this picture. And the bit that I wanted was this one, because I particularly liked the flower on the bottom. So that's what I did. I drew round the frame in charcoal onto the fabric. I think you can see there's a line there. There's a line down there. And I cut it out just slightly bigger than the frame. So the frame, what we're going to do with the frame. So we are first of all going to glue some little charms around. See, I'm all organised. I know where things are this time. So I literally get my charm. So I've got a fairy here, and I very, very carefully cut that little, you know, the little circle that, so you can leave yours on if you want to do, but I just cut that off. You need to be really careful, because before I cut the fairy's head off, I thought, oh my goodness, I'm going to have to sort of give 1,000 apologies for that. So I cut that off. I've got a leaf. I love this leaf. Didn't even know I had it in my charms, but I did. So I thought a leaf is pretty nature, because I want this to look like a picture sort of by the fairies, in homage to the fairies. I could put that sort of here. Put a fairy there. I've got a what's this one? Oh, this is like a modern looking fairy. I love her face. Could just cut that off. I've got that scrap of string keeps sticking to my fingers. There we go. This is the fairy Like an angel, this one. So you need to be really careful with the head. Don't want to cut her head off. Don't want to be in trouble with the angels as well as the fairies. So I'm going to put that one on there. I'm actually going to put that there. That there. That there and that there. So, when I've done, I'll just put my fairy in there, then she doesn't get lost. Previously, when I have done this with the metallic, I've used the metallic. Now I have lost it because it was here. I have used, sorry for nudging the camera then. So I've used the metallic that I've got from the, well, it's B&Q here. It's like an industrial, not an industrial. It's where builders go. It's a builder's place. And I get the industrial roll. It's on a tape. It's on a roll. There's me flicking my fairies everywhere. I think I've just dropped a fairy as well. Anyway, so that roll is really thick and I find it hard to do this with. So I was thinking of like putting glue and just silver foil on. Anyway, I found this. Now I cannot for the life of me remember where I got it from, and it's called super foil. And it's for aluminium tape for use with insulation. However, oh sorry, there it is. There's the foil from the builder's yard. You can see how thick it is, and it actually I cut myself a lot on that. That's the Scotch tape one. So I saw this one, and when I've peeled it, it is really, you can tell, you can hear, it's really, really thin. So, I'm sad I've lost that. I've dropped a fairy and lost her. I don't know where she is. I don't want to spend the next 20 minutes grovelling around on the floor. Let's just cut another one. Oh. It was my fault. Sorry about that, everybody. This is the one whose head comes off. This is Tinkerbell, and it's a bun, and when I cut it last time, head came off. Done it. Right, so what I do is get my Fabri-Tac, and it's blue because I put some acetone in from nail varnish, and it just so happened to be blue. Now you put acetone in just to thin it down. I've ordered more Fabri-Tac, but it's just not arrived yet. I don't know where it's coming from. It says it's still out for delivery. And I think I've got until July, early July, before it'll get here. So it's probably coming from America. So I just sort of glue those down. I'm going to put this one here. And then this little one I'm going to put here. I've got a really sore throat today, that's why I just need to keep just having a drink of coffee. So because this is so fine, with this tape I had to get some like sculpting tools to work on it, and it really is quite difficult to get the image that you want. So with this being much finer, it's much easier. So I'm literally going to put that, let's bring it down, across there, and stick that down. Take my scissors, and then I'm going to do the same here. Let me just tear that off. It's just like your aluminium foil that you'd wrap your turkey in, honestly. Right, so then I got a cotton board. So I went round the images with my fingers first. And this is how easy it is. They even start to show up with your fingers. But it's stuck to the card. This is just a card frame that I had. I'd got it at a scrap store, I believe. So you can see the fairy starting to appear. Sometimes little bits do break because it is very fine foil. However, you just put another, can you see it's broken there? So all I would do, there, let me show you. You see it's just sort of come through the foil there. You can see the white card underneath. I mean, that doesn't really matter because of what we're going to do in a minute, but I just like to have things covered so that I can see my shapes underneath. See my fairies underneath. That's got really good texture, that leaf there. This fairy's looking good. I just keep coming backwards and forwards to them as it's settling. There's a wing. There she is. And then this one. So here I've got a fairy. I've got a butterfly. You can just see the edge of the butterfly. I've got like what they call, I can't say it, is it a knife, magical knife, a fairy. There is a little sort of caterpillar there and another fairy. Right, so when you've done that, I literally just folded it back, just folded it and stuck it down. Because it's so fine, it actually isn't bulky. So I did that. Right, now it's messy time. Just going to go round, check everything's pressed down. There's a little space there, but I'm going to show you. I mean, I did cover that one up. No, in fact, I'm going to cover that as well. Because I do like, it wouldn't matter if I don't cover it up. You'll see why in a second. So there we go, it's covered. So now I just need that tape out the way. So now, paint, black paint. This is just black acrylic paint. And so now, messy time. Let's move these things off here. I'm just going to paint over that in black acrylic paint, give it a really good coating, because we want this to look old, because the book is going in a rusty tin. The book is grungy, so we need everything in the book to look grungy as well. So I'm just putting this acrylic paint on, and it's just your cheap Hobbycraft, Hobby Lobby acrylic. It's their brand. Just give it a good squashing in over your charms. You could put buttons under here. I've done it with buttons, I've done it with safety pins, all sorts of different, anything that's slightly raised. So when you've done that, this is the really, for me, the very exciting part. You get your paper towel and you literally just start and wipe it off. And can you see how the black paint is staying in parts? Do you know, I'm going to have to do a drying, aren't I? In fact, I'm going to do a little dry now. And I think now you can see your charms so much more clearly than you could before. So this I will will give to Laurie Marie Jenkins. This is her, where I first saw this done. If you've never watched Laurie Marie's channel, then you need to have a look. She is a brilliant mixed media artist. So there we go. So it actually looks more like gunmetal now, and those little charms are all standing out. So I'm now going to wipe my fingers, my black fingers. I'm just going to pop this just to the side of me, and let's get the book. So here's the book. It doesn't want to sit down flat. It's the heart on the front. So let's put the heart flat. There we are. So there's the book. And right. So now we're going to put this onto here. So I am sort of going to line it up centrally as to where I think I want it. Well, where I know. It's no good thinking because it'd be difficult to move. So I'm now going to put my fabric tack on. Whirly whirly, my blue fabric tack. It got quite difficult to squeeze and my mum couldn't squeeze it. So I said to her, I know how we can thin it down. We'll put some acetone in it. So the only acetone I could find was in my daughter's nail varnish remover with acetone. And so I put that in, and that is how it turned blue. This is the way up that I want it. Now if you wanted to grunge that up more, you can do. There's no reason why you can't use some Distress Oxide. So here's some vintage photo. You know, you can rub that on. You don't have to have the inks. So you can rub that on. You see it's distressed there a bit more. You can use your charcoal. So there's all sorts you can use if you don't have you don't just so happen to have a pot of rusty water. You could use the Rusty Hinge, Tim Holtz Distress Inks. There's all those beautiful new sprays now. I want a set of those distress sprays. Right, so that is on there. It's not cut straight, so I'm trying to line it. I'm lining it up straight, and there's actually no point because it isn't cut straight. This is cut straight, so I'm now going to look at where I want that. Oh, I love this page. This came to me one night. I was laying in bed and I was just thinking, what can I do on that page? Give me some inspiration. And then this, sorry, the pin was stuck to my finger. This just came to my head. So let's get the fabric tack. Desperate for my new fabric tack to arrive. In fact, I've been waiting so long for it that I've ordered 2 lots, hoping that one might come sooner than the other. And I've ordered a spray fabric tack. It says it's new, so I don't know if it is new, but it must be new to the UK, to us in the UK. Love it. Right, so now let's get it, make sure it's the right way up. It is. So now I'm going to stick that on there, ensuring I've caught the edge, and I'm going to press that down. I'm just going to go around the edge of it with some charcoal. Now normally I just spray over, when it's actual real charcoal, I would normally spray it with a bit of hairspray, but I haven't got any with me, so I'll have to do that after. because this is a fairy piece of art, I decided we needed some nature on it, because that's what fairies would do. So I've got some bits and pieces here. I hadn't intended for the bow to go on, that's just come over itself. I've got some bits and pieces here, and I've got these, look at my fingers, I have to excuse them, you know, these skeleton leaves. So I thought I might put them on as though they were sort of fairy wings, like that. What do you think? So there's some threads dangling there, I'm just going to leave them on. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put them on as though they are fairy wings, because that's what I bought them for. I have a box of fairy wings, or what I think could be fairy wings, and these are in them. So that's... Is that the right way up? Nope. That's one there. And one here. You could always even just pop fairy on there if you wanted to. But I thought I'd just do a little nature homage. I've got some moss, which I'm going to put down there. Just a little bit. And I have got more moss, but when I went into my nature drawer, this little piece jumped out. So I thought, okay then, okie dokie, that's what you want. On you go. I've got some petals. I had some sage. Now, where's the sage gone? Oh, here we are. Here's my sage leaves. So let's pop them on. One, two, and three. Sage leaves. Just overlapping some of the things as well. Then they look like they, you know, are strategically there for a reason. I'm not just thrown on the page. That's pretty. Right. So I've got some of these, you know, for carnation. So I'm going to put some glue down here. Come on, glue. Can't wait to just show you a video with. I've just got my Fabri-Tac, my new bottles, and my spray Fabri-Tac as well. Let's just pop these in the corner here. Those are nice. So I am actually going to get a little bit more moss from there. This is my moss drawer. Oh, I've got a twig. Twig. Got some seagulls just jumped out of these. Put a little bit of this green moss on. I like it when things jump out at me, because I think they're saying, please use me. Please, please, please use me. I'm going to pop that on there, like that. I think across here too, I'm going to put the sea glass. Oh, this is a flat one. Put the flat one just on there. I've got a twig. So can you see how I'm just building the picture up? So although I've done all that incredible work underneath, which I think I've done an incredible job of, and I am covering it, yes. However, I've got such a beautiful backdrop for my that under there. Such a beautiful backdrop for my picture on top. So let's put some of these little rose petals on now. Here's the stick. Oh dear, my mum likes, she would not like these dirty sticky fingers. Just pop that there. Whoops. Just need a piece of paper here just to press that on, because they're just sticking to my fingers. What I'll do is I'll allow this to dry, and then I will come back to it and stick down anything that I need to stick down again, you know, any edges and things. Let's put some under there. So you have been watching Sharon Alexander of Be Divine Vintage, doing a little bit of mixed media art for you. I hope that you do like it, what you've seen. I hope you have a go, because it is good fun. Let's put a yellow on. Yellow there, it'd look nice, because it is good fun. All this is new to me. I'm from Sewing Club, but these skills have been learned with I'm in a sewing club on a Tuesday evening, so the skills regarding putting the paper on, the fabric onto the muslin came from at Sewing Club, where I put napkins onto muslin and stitched on that. I made some books out of that. So all these skills have developed, things that I've practiced from Sewing Club. So I'm really grateful to Sewing Club for showing me these new skills. When I was first invited, I thought, oh, I don't want to go to Sewing Club. Do I want to? It's only once a month, and I absolutely love it. So there we are. So there we are. That's our picture in our journal. I'm going to carry on pushing and sticking all these, but you don't need to see that. Next time I see you, I'll show you this page again, and it will have been flattened, because do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a piece of baking paper on there like that, and I'm going to put a heavy book. I just so happen to have a Oxford Dictionary over the top, and I will leave that probably overnight and revisit it again tomorrow. So thank you so much for watching. It's been lovely speaking to you. I am Be Divine Vintage on Facebook, Be Divine Vintage on Etsy, Be Divine Vintage on Instagram, spelled B-E-A-D, as in a bead. Then the D from the bead starts the word divine, Be Divine Vintage. So thank you so much. Please follow me on Instagram. Please follow my group on Facebook, join my group, and please have a look at my Etsy shop. Thank you so much, and please comment below and subscribe. Thank you. Bye bye.